Shalom, Israel. Shalom. This is Kahari back with another quick breakdown. And today we'll be getting into Sirach, chapter 1 and 2. Good books of wisdom, so let's go ahead and get into it. It's Sirach, chapter 1, starting from the top. All wisdom cometh from the Lord, and is with him forever. So, we know that the Lord, he owns wisdom. He's the founder of wisdom. So, let's get Proverbs 3:19. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 19. The Lord by wisdom hath founded the earth. By understanding hath he established the heavens. So the foundation of the earth, the creation, was founded by wisdom. So that means wisdom had to exist even before creation. So the Most High owns that. He's the creator of wisdom. He holds wisdom. Verse 2. Who can number the sand of the sea, and the drops of rain in the days of eternity? Who can find out the height of heaven, and the breadth of the earth, and the deep in wisdom? Right? Sounds like things he was asking Job, right? We know the Most High, he established the world with wisdom. So no one has deeper understanding than the Most High. Verse 4. Wisdom hath been created before all things, and the understanding of prudence from everlasting. Let's go to Proverbs 3:19, right? Because wisdom wisdom is pre everything that we see today, everything that we know today, even our own understanding. Proverbs chapter 3. Slack it. It's not. I'm gonna get Jeremiah 10 and 12. Jeremiah 10 and 12, right? Because like it says in Proverbs 3:19, the Most High founded the earth with wisdom. So I'm going to get Jeremiah chapter 10 and verse 12. It's Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 12. And it reads, He hath made the earth by his power. He hath established the world by his wisdom, and hath stretched out the heaven by his discretion. Right? So the Most High, using his wisdom, created all the wonders of the earth. Right? All these things that man still ponders on, that man doesn't fully understand. The Most High created that. So that means he has to have a deep, intimate understanding and relationship with his creation. Going on to verse 5. The word of God Most High is the fountain of wisdom, and her ways are everlasting commandments. So this word is the fountain of wisdom. This is where you'll find wisdom. This is where you'll find, that beginning of wisdom. Let's get Baruch 4:1, because it said that it'll last forever. Right? Her ways are everlasting commandments. Right? Baruch 4 and verse 1. And it reads, This is the book of the commandments of God, and the law that endureth forever. All they that keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die. Right? So that good water, that living water, if you abandon it, you forsake it, then you'll die. Right? You need that living water to live. And then we can also get Psalms 19 and 7. It's Psalms chapter 19 and verse 7. And I will make void the counsel of Judah and Jerusalem in this place, and I will cause them to fall by the sword before their enemies. Slack it. It's not what I wanted. Nah, that's not what I wanted. But Baruch 4:1, basically showing you how that law is everlasting. Psalms 9 and 7 showing you what happened when we walked away from that law. We were brought to death, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and read it. This Psalms. Oh, that was the wrong one. That was Jeremiah 19 and 7. Slide. But Psalms 9 and 7 reads this. Psalms chapter 9 and verse 7. But the Lord shall endure forever. He hath prepared his throne for judgment. So, his word and his rulership will be forever. It has always been and will always be. So this word, this law, in which he's established with wisdom, it shall last forever. It shall be forever. Verse 6. To whom hath the root of wisdom been revealed? Or who hath known her wise counsels? Unto whom hath the knowledge of wisdom been made manifest? And who hath understood her great experience? There is one wise and greatly to be feared, the Lord sitting upon his throne. Right? So it says that there's only one to be feared. There's only one to be acknowledged, and as that greater power. Let's go to Matthew 19:17, because Yahushua said this himself. This is Matthew chapter 19, verse 17. And I'm going to start from 16, right? So someone came and asked Yahushua, what can he do to have eternal life, right? Let's see what Yahushua said. This is Matthew chapter 19, verse 16. And behold, one came and said unto him, Good master, what good things shall I do that I may have eternal life? And he said unto him, Why callest thou me good? There is none good but one, that is God. But if thou wilt enter into life, keep the commandments. So God is the only one that's good. God is the only one who has that power, who is to be acknowledged as the most holy, the holy of holy, right? Well, let's see what his law is, because if he established the world with wisdom, right, and with these commandments, with this law, then that must mean his law is also what? Good. So let's get Romans 7 and 12. It's Romans chapter 7 and verse 12. And it reads, But to the rest speak I not the Lord. If any... Oh, slide. That's 1 Corinthians. Romans 9 and 12. Gone. Slack, family, slack. Right? Because his law should also be good as well, right? Romans 7 and 12. And it reads, Wherefore the law is holy, right? He said the law is holy, and the commandments holy, and just, and good, right? So, the Most High is holy, just, and good. His law also as well is holy, just, and good. So, to keep his law is to be to strive in that likeness, to strive as what we've been called to be, holy, just, and good. Because his law is holy, just, and good, because he is holy, just, and good. Right? Continue verse 9 of Sirach. He created her, and saw her, and numbered her, and poured her out upon all his works. She is with all flesh according to his gift, and he hath given her to them that love him. Right? So only those who love him shall obtain him, shall obtain her, that being wisdom. Right? So 1 John 5 and 3. Right? 1 John 5 and 2. Right? We know we love God when we keep his commandments. But let's get Sirach 8 and 1. It's Sirach chapter 8 and verse 1. Strive not with a mighty man, lest thou fall into his hands. It's not what I want. Ecclesiastes 8 and 1 is what I wanted. Ecclesiastes 8 and 1. Slakia Israel. It's Ecclesiastes chapter 8. In verse 1. And it reads, Who is as the wise man, and who knoweth the interpretation of a thing? A man's wisdom maketh his face to shine, and the boldness of his face shall be changed. Right? So, a wise man is who would obtain this knowledge, is who would obtain this wisdom, because a wise man seeks this wisdom. Let's get Proverbs 1. Proverbs chapter 1 and verse 5. A wise man will hear and will increase learning, and a man of understanding shall attain unto wise counsel. Right? So a wise man is going to understand this. Someone who seeks this knowledge, this wisdom and understanding. Right? And we know that can only be of Israel, proceeding to Deuteronomy 29, right? So, but let's continue. Verse 11. The fear of the Lord is honor, and glory, and gladness, and a crown of rejoicing. Right? So, it's a good thing to obtain this wisdom. It makes you joyful. Right? It beautifies you as well. So, let's get Proverbs 4 and 9. Proverbs chapter 4 and verse 9. She shall give to thine head an ornament of grace. A crown of glory shall she deliver to thee. Right? And this is talking about wisdom, getting understanding, right? And avoiding evil, right? In Proverbs chapter 4. Let's also get Proverbs 3 and 13. Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 13. Happy is the man that findeth wisdom, and the man that getteth understanding. So it's a joy to get wisdom and understanding. And you shouldn't want to let it go. Right? It's like if you find some treasure on the beach or something like that, you're not gonna just discard it, you're gonna cling to it. Verse 12 of Sirach. The fear of the Lord maketh a merry heart, and giveth joy and gladness, and a long life. Right? So we like we read in Proverbs 3 and 13. Also in Proverbs 3 and 16, where it says, length of days is in her right hand, and in her left hand riches and honor. So riches and honor is in her right hand, right? So, but you also obtain that long life, right? A man's life is preserved with wisdom, right? A man's life is preserved with these commandments, right? With this holy, just, and good law, this wisdom. So let's get Numbers 18 and 19. All right. Numbers chapter 18 and verse 19, and it reads, all the heave offering of the holy things which the children of Israel offer unto the Lord have I given thee, and thy sons and thy daughters with thee, by statute of forever. Right? Forever, that law enduring forever. It is a covenant of salt forever before the Lord unto thee and to thy seed with thee. So this is supposed to go on generation to generation. This is supposed to be a law forever. And he said covenant of salt. We go to Matthew 5 and 13, right? Because if we know what salt is a preservative as well. It's a mineral used as a preservative. Let's get Matthew 5 and 13. Ye are the salt of the earth, but if the salt have lost its savor, wherewith shall it be salted? It is thenceforth good for nothing, but to be cast out and to be trodden under foot of men. So this is what the covenant is for us. This is what the commandments are for the children of Israel. It's salt. It's a preservative, and it's what makes us the salt of the earth. It's what gives us that flavor. If we don't have this commandment, this covenant of salt to preserve us, then what difference is there between us and the heathen? Just like what difference is it between salt and the rest of the rock on the earth if it loses its savor? So salt is a preservative, and this covenant that we have with our God is a covenant of salt, which means it's supposed to preserve us and last forever and be forever. Let's continue verse 12. Verse 13 is all right. Whoso feareth the Lord, it shall go well with him at the last, and he shall find favor in the day of his death. To fear the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and it was created with the faithful in the womb. She hath built an everlasting foundation with men, and she shall continue with their seed. Right? Deuteronomy 29:29. Let me go ahead and get that. Right? Because this is a covenant of salt. Deuteronomy 29 and 29. And it reads, the secret things belong unto the Lord, our God, but those things which are revealed belong unto us and to our children forever, that we may do all the words of this law. Right? Forever. To our children forever. Right? We're supposed to be keeping this law, keeping these laws, statutes, commandments forever. So are our children after us. Continuing in verse 16, sirach. To fear the Lord is fullness of wisdom, and filleth men with her fruits. She filleth all their house with things desirable, and the gardeners with her increase. The fear of the Lord is a crown of wisdom, making peace and perfect health to flourish, both which are the gifts of God, and it enlargeth their rejoicing that love him. Right? Proverbs 29:18. Proverbs chapter 29, verse 18. And it reads, lest there should be among you man, or sirach. Proverbs 29:18. I don't know why I keep doing that. Proverbs 29 and verse 18. Where there is no vision, the people perish. But he that keepeth the law, happy is he. Right? So happy is he that keepeth the law. Those who don't keep the law perish. Right? You don't have that fountain of wisdom, you perish. You die of thirst. You don't have that tree of wisdom to bear fruit, good fruit for you to eat. You die of hunger. Right? So if you're not keeping these laws, such commandments, you can't obtain those riches and that long life that comes with wisdom. Because it's null and void for you. Because you're not following the first step to obtaining that. The beginning of wisdom, which is the fear of the Most High, and to keep his commandments. Going on to verse 19, it's sirach. Wisdom raineth down skill and knowledge of understanding, and exalteth them to honor that hold her fast. The root of wisdom is to fear the Lord, and the branches thereof are long life. Get Revelations 22:14. All right, because wisdom is a tree, and long life proceeds from it. For those who keep it, for those who understand the roots of it, which is the fear of the Lord. Because without the root, you cannot have the tree. This is Revelation chapter 22 and verse 14. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life, and may enter in through the gates into the city. So this is how you obtain those riches. How you obtain that long life, obtain that everlasting life, to partake from the tree of life, is to follow these laws, such commandments, which is the root of that tree. The root of the tree of life are these laws, right? That's what establishes that tree. That's the foundation of this tree, right? Because we know the Most High founded the world with wisdom, right? He built the foundations of the world with wisdom. So the foundation of that living tree, that tree of life, is this wisdom, knowledge, understanding. Those are the roots. And those are our roots, right? That's what keeps us grounded. Because, like it says in Wisdom of Solomon, I believe chapter 4, the wicked are like trees without roots, right? They'll blow over. A tree without root can be uprooted easily, right? So these law, statutes, commandments keep us rooted, and they preserve us. Continuing on to verse 20. Verse 21. The fear of the Lord driveth away sins, and where it is present, it turneth away wrath. Right? But also, I also want to get another verse for that, for 20. Right? Sirach 19:19. Let me get that. It's Sirach chapter 19 and verse 19. The knowledge of the commandments of the Lord is the doctrine of life, and they that do things that please him shall receive the fruits of the tree of immortality. We just read that in Revelation 22 and 14, right? Those who keep this law, these laws, these statutes, and these commandments of the Most High, those who stay grounded in the roots, or in their roots, by having fear for the Most High, right? They can obtain the fruit of this tree, right? This tree of life. In verse 21, the fear of the Lord driveth away sins, and where it is present, it turneth away wrath, right? So, the fear of the Lord washes away those sins. When we keep the law, statutes, commands, we strive to be perfect. We begin to make up for a multitude of sins, not only ours, but our forefathers before us. and it turneth away wrath, right? So this pleases the Most High. This turns away his wrath from us, right? When we please him. Verse 22 of Sirach chapter 1. A furious man cannot be justified, for the sway of his fury shall be his destruction. Right, let's get Matthew 5 and 9. Right? Matthew 5 and verse 9. This is Yahushua speaking. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. So to be a peacemaker is just, right? To our just God. It is good to our good God. It's a holy thing to our holy God, right? In our holy law, right, which was given to us by our holy God, the Holy of Holies, right? It states to be a peacemaker. Don't be a warmonger, right? Let's go to Hebrews 12 and 14, right? Okay, Hebrews 12 and 14. It's Hebrews chapter 12 and verse 14. And it reads, follow peace with all men, and holiness, without which no man shall see the Lord. Right? Follow peace with all men. And without that, you're not gonna be able to see the Most High. Right? You're not gonna be able to be in his presence, right? Be called, a child of God. If you're always seeking bloodshed, right? Like it talks about in Proverbs chapter 1, right? Proverbs chapter 1 and in verse 12 and down, right? That you're quick to shed blood. How can that mercy be upon you, right? But let's continue in verse 23 of Sirach 1. A patient man will bear for a time, and afterward joy shall spring up unto him. He will hide his words for a time, and the lips of many shall declare his wisdom, right? So a patient man is not always looking to show his wisdom, right? A patient man isn't always quick to or too eager to do things before first, consulting the Most High, right? That's wisdom. That's true wisdom, right? Consulting the Most High before you do anything, right? But let's get Proverbs 1 and 5 through 7. Proverbs chapter 1, verse 5 through 7. A wise man will hear and will increase learning. So you have to hear first, right? You have to hear and increase learning. In order to hear, you have to listen. You have to really listen, shut down, listen. Adawan has given me this advice. Don't be so eager. Just listen. First listen, understand, and then try to apply it. And once you apply it, then you get the full understanding. And that's how we have to be in this truth, right? Coming into this truth, we have to first digest the milk in order to be able to take on the deeper, darker understandings of this Bible, right? But continue in verse 5. And a man of understanding shall attain unto wisdom, unto wise counsels, to understand a proverb and the interpretation, the words of the wise and their dark sayings, right? So you have to be able to first learn. Before you can teach, you have to be able to learn, right? And once you fully learn and you've developed off that milk, you'll become a teacher, and then others will be coming to you asking for your wisdom. Others will be referring you as a counselor, right? And the lips of many men shall profess that you are wise, right? A wise man doesn't have to say he is wise. This is verse 25 of Sirach 1. The parables of knowledge are in the treasures of wisdom, but godliness is in an abomination to a sinner, right? So sinners, the wicked, right? They abhor this. They abhor wisdom, right? They abhor understanding, and they abhor those who keep these laws, statutes, commandments. They abhor godliness. Let's get that in Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2 and verse 14. He was made to reprove our thoughts. He is grievous unto us, even to behold. For his life is not like other men's. His ways are of another fashion. Right? We are esteemed of him as counterfeits. He abstaineth from our ways as from filthiness. He pronounceth the end of the just to be blessed, and maketh his boast that God is his father. So this is what the wicked think about those who keep these laws, statutes, commandments. They abhor us, right? They abstain from you, right? They keep away from you, and you abstain from all appearances of evil. So you keep away from their likeness, right? Because what business have the wicked to have the righteous with the wicked, right? Unequally yoked, and you know, the wicked, they can't stand to even look at you. They abhor even the sight of you, right? So it's grievous to them because it's a constant reminder, and it's a constant cut of their wicked lifestyle, or whoever they may be, right? Going on to verse 26, sirach 1. If thou desire wisdom, keep the commandments, and the Lord shall give her unto thee. For the fear of the Lord is wisdom and instruction, and faith and meekness are his delight. Right? So let's get Galatians 5 and 22. Right? We know this is the delight of the Lord. Galatians 5 and verse 22. When we do these things, right, which is the fruit of the Spirit, right? Fruit of the Spirit. That fruit, again, being that you get from that tree of life, that you get from keeping the law, statutes, commandments, right? From this tree of wisdom, right? The fruits of the Spirit, right here. Galatians chapter 5 and 22. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law, right? So this is there's no law against this, because when you keep the law, you obtain these. You obtain these things. These are the fruits of the Spirit. These are the fruits of your faith in keeping the law, such commandments of the Most High, right? These are some of the fruits of that tree of life. Beautiful thing. Continue in verse 28. Distrust not the fear of the Lord when thou art poor, and come not unto him with a double heart, right? And we're gonna get into that in chapter 2. You know, of keeping faith and being girded up. Be not an hypocrite in the sight of men, and take good heed that thou speakest at what thou speakest. Exalt not thyself, lest thou fall, and bring dishonor upon thy soul. And so God discover thy secrets, and cast thee down in the midst of the congregation, because thou camest not in truth to fear the Lord, but thy heart is full of deceit. Right? So don't exalt yourself, right, as some high and holy person when you know you've got things you got to work out. When you know you've got those secret sins, right? The Most High will bring those sins to light. If you're exalting yourself above people and not getting yourself together, you telling people to keep the law, keep certain laws, and judging people, but you haven't taken that speck out of your eye. So don't do that, because the Most High will cast you down, right? We've seen that with an example of that is in a couple stories in the history of Susanna. Right? History of Susanna. That's an example of how, you know, how man can cause himself to be cast down by their own pride. So let's continue into chapter 2. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright, and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. Right? So don't panic, right? Keep the commandments, like keep the faith. Stay true, right? Stay grounded. Don't be so easily swayed, because if you were easily swayed, that means you don't have roots. You don't have a good foundation, right? You don't really have faith in that law that you're keeping, that you're trying to keep, right? You're not keeping the law, right? So if you're not keeping the law, therefore you don't have those roots, right? You don't have the Spirit on you, right? And we know one of the fruits of the Spirit is peace. If you don't have that peace in that time of turmoil, or time of trouble, then you need to fast and pray. You need to dig deeper so that you can get to those roots. Those roots being the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High. Because a tree with strong roots can't be easily swayed, right? Verse 3, cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at the last end, right? Let's get Joshua 22:5. Joshua chapter 22 and verse 5. And it reads, Joshua 22:5. But take diligent heed to do the commandment and the law, which Moses, the servant of the Lord, charged you, to love the Lord your God, and to walk in all his ways, and to keep his commandments, and to cleave unto him, and to serve him with all your heart and with all your soul. So you need to cleave to these laws, such commandments. You need to not let go, right? Hebrews 10 and 23, right? Let's just get another one. Hebrews 10 and 23. This is Hebrews chapter 10 and verse 23. And it reads, let us hold fast the profession of our faith without wavering. So without wavering, right? For he is faithful that promise. And let us consider one another to provoke unto love and to good works, right? So keeping this faith, staying grounded, staying rooted in this thing, you're showing your faith, right? In those times of turmoil, and when those strong winds hit, right? You'll be that tree that does not fall when so many around you may, right? Because you're grounded and rooted with these laws, statutes, commandments, with the root, the beginning of all wisdom, of the beginning of wisdom being feared for the Most High, keeping his commandments. Verse 4, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low state. So patience. Remember we read that Galatians 5 and 22, right? Patience being one of the fruits of the spirits. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable when in the furnace of adversity, right? So gold is tried, right? For gold to be made pure or perfect, it has to be tempered through that flame, through that fire of adversity, right? Let's get Job chapter, let's get Job 23 and 10. Job 23 and 10. This is Job chapter 23 and verse 10. And it reads, but he knoweth the way that I take. When he hath tried me, I shall come forth as gold. So Job was being tested in a very rigorous test, right? And he acknowledged that when I'm tested, I'm made like gold. I'm made perfect. And Job was a blameless man, but he still had to go through that test, that adversity, to be made even more perfect. Because no man is perfect to where they can literally stand in the presence of the Most High. Because we know the Most High is the Holy of Holies. He's the most perfect. That is a height that cannot be reached, but we can forever strive to reach that, right? That's the beauty of this law. It makes you better every second, right? Continuing in verse 6 of Sirach 1. Believe in him, and he will help thee. Order thy way aright, and trust in him. Ye that fear the Lord, wait for his mercy, and go not aside lest ye fall. So those of you that are rooted, right? Let's go to Proverbs 4 and 25. Proverbs chapter 4 and verse 25. Let thine eyes look right on, and let thine eyelids look straight before thee. So stay on a straight path. Ponder the path of thy feet, and let all the ways be established. Turn not to the right hand, nor to the left. Remove thy foot from evil. Right? So stay grounded, stay rooted. Right? Stay on a straight path. Don't look to the right, don't look to the left. You see all these other trees falling? Those trees weren't rooted. Right? Those trees didn't have strong foundation. Those trees didn't have these laws, statutes, commandments of the Most High. Right? So you being that grounded, rooted tree, having these laws, statutes, commandments, having that root of wisdom, right? Believe, have faith in it, and hold thy foot, right? Stand firm, gird up, right? Continuing in verse 8 of sirach 2. Ye that fear the Lord, believe him, and your reward shall not fail. Ye that fear the Lord, hope for good, and for everlasting joy and mercy. Look at the generations of old, and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? Right? Did any of our forefathers who trusted in the Most High, were they ever confounded or left to naught? Right? The three holy children, right? In the burning furnace. Daniel in the lion's den, right? Job, right? Moses, right? At the Red Sea, right? David, right? And when Saul was pursuing him to kill him, right? All of our forefathers stood firm and had the faith and kept the faith and stayed grounded and rooted, right? They didn't sway. They didn't allow themselves to be knocked down. They didn't allow themselves to be uprooted, right? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? For the Lord is full of compassion and mercy, long suffering, right? We got into that with the fruits of the Spirit. And very pitiful, and forgiveth sins, and saveth in time of affliction. Woe be to fearful hearts, right? And faint hands, and the sinner that goeth two ways. Woe unto him that is faint-hearted, for he believeth not, therefore shall he not be defended, right? So the one looking to the left and the right, the one who isn't staying rooted, keeping their foot from evil, right? They see the size and strength of the adversary, they turn around and run. Woe unto them, right? It's going to be destruction for them, right? Let's get Psalms 18 and 30. Right? So you can't be no weak man in this. You got to be a man of the Most High, man of valor, right? Because the God we serve is a man of war. So how much more even his soldiers have to be? Psalms 18 and 30. It's Psalm chapter 18 and verse 30. And it reads, as for God, his way is perfect. The word of the Lord is tried. He is a buckler to all those that trust him. Right? Buckler carries a sword. He's a protection. Right? He's a shield, a buckler, and a sword. He's armor. Right? He is what prepares us for war. The Most High. Right? When we get in these scripts and when brothers get in the spirit before we go out on highways and byways, we're putting on armor, right? We're getting fired up. We're arming ourselves with our swords, right? To go out and to do combat and to do war, right? Against this wickedness in high places. So having faith in him and keeping his laws, statutes, commandments, we are grounded, rooted, and we have on that full armor, right? We're girded up. Verse 14, woe unto you, this is verse 14 of Sirach chapter 2. Woe unto you that have lost patience, and what will ye do when the Lord shall visit you? So you lost one of those key fruits, right, of the Spirit, that patience, right? Man, it's getting hectic out here. Yahweh still ain't come back yet. Man, I need a blunt. Now, you like that blunt? Now, them clouds bust open and them chariots come down. And Yahweh shall visit you and say, where was your patience? What happened? You're going to be looking crazy, right? So we gotta keep the faith. And faith works patience, right? They that fear the Lord will not disobey his word. And they that love him will keep his ways. So let's get James 1 and 3. right? So James chapter 1, verse 3. Knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience, right? So the trying of your faith, the adversity, those wars that you got to go through, that's what worketh your patience. So there's times where you may there's a battle that may last for 2 years, right? We've seen this in the ancient world. Our forefathers, they fought battles, some wars that lasted for hundreds of years, right? All we're constantly at war with a certain enemy. Yeah, that work is patience, right? That's going to test you, and that's going to make you perfect. That's going to make you into that gold that was tried, right? Let's continue. Let's also get Joshua 14 and 15. John 14 and 15. Let's get John chapter 14 verse 15. This is John chapter 14 and verse 15. And it reads, If ye love me, keep my commandments. And I will pray the Father, and he shall give you another comforter, that he may abide with you forever. Right? The Spirit, right? So we know that the Spirit is that comforter, right? We continue on in the next verse, right? That Spirit is what gives us that strength, that faith, right? That Spirit is what gives us those fruits in which we partake of that keep us nourished in this thing, keep us rooted and grounded. Verse 16 of Sirach 2. They that fear the Lord will seek that which is well-pleasing unto him, and they that love him shall be filled with the law. Right? We just got on reading that. They that fear the Lord will prepare their hearts and humble their souls in his sight, saying, We will fall into the hands of the Lord, and not into the hands of men. For as his majesty is, so is his mercy. Right? And we see that with our forefathers in First Maccabees. First Maccabees 1. First Maccabees 2, First Maccabees 2 and let me get that. First Maccabees 2 and 23, right? Right? Let me start at 20, right? Our forefathers, they put their faith in the Most High. They put their lives in his hands. This is verse 20 of First Maccabees chapter 2. Yet will I and my sons and my brethren walk in the covenant of our fathers. God forbid that we should forsake the law and the ordinances. We will not hearken to the king's words to go from our religion, either on the right hand or the left. Right? Now, this is our mighty forefather, Mattathias, staying grounded, staying girded up, right? Staying rooted in his foundation. This being the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High, our heritage, our roots, right? And defying the heathen king that ruled over his people at the time, right? Heathen king had the power to kill everyone, to kill everyone if he wanted to. But Mattathias stood firm on that, right? Because he understood that there's one to be feared above all. There's no one to be feared other than one, and that's the Most High, the one who can destroy body and soul. So when you have that true fear for the Most High, you aren't afraid of death. So with that, Israel, I want to give all praises to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ashar Shabbat, Shalom.